Hey, you guys. Welcome to Monday. I want you to take a minute because if you're here or if you're watching this, that means that you woke up. That means that you have another opportunity to have an impact on not only yourself, but those around you. So take a moment because we tend to just get so caught up in the things that we're just used to that we forget to be grateful for what we have, for what we're able to do. The fact that I am able to come on here and do this video. I have a lot to be grateful for. So I want you to take a moment to do the same. You made it through another Monday. And give yourself a pat on the back because that is an accomplishment in itself. You made it through the majority of the day. Now, for my shift workers, because I used to be one, maybe you haven't started your day just yet. Or maybe you worked last night. So maybe your Monday started earlier than everyone else, but that's okay too. Regardless of what it is, I want you to just remember a lot of people did not have the opportunity to be here today. We take life for granted. I want you to think about that for a minute. We take life for granted. And why? Why do we do that? A lot of times we're just so used to being able to do the things that we do that we forget this is an opportunity. This is something that not everyone gets to participate in. Not everyone has internet, believe it or not. Not everyone is able to even watch these videos or other videos or listen to things that can encourage them. But we do, we have that opportunity. So take a moment and just say, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for the things that I have at my disposal. Thank you for the ability to connect with others. Thank you for the car that I drive. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for a roof over my head because I don't know about you, but I've experienced not having a stable roof over my head. I've experienced homelessness when I was a teen. So looking back now that I'm older, I look back, I mean, this was 30 years ago, right? I look back now and I'm like, okay, even when the situations are not perfect around me, even when I'm calculating, okay, this money is allotted to this. Okay, every time revenue comes in, okay, this is going to be to this and this is going to be to that. And then I have to take a moment and say, you know what? I am grateful that I have the ability to do this because there was a time where I couldn't pay bills. So even though I'm trying and I'm doing my best with what I have, I still am grateful for that because there has been times in my life where that was not even an option. When I went into the military, I had to get three waivers. Three, okay? One was for finances because society sets us up for failure, to be quite honest. And I didn't even know where this video was going to go. And that's the thing. I just say, Lord, give me the words. What do you want me to talk about today? I have it all written out. I have a guideline, but what do you want me to talk about today? So this is what I'm going to talk about. Society sets us up for failure. Society teaches us to rely on one income. Go to school, get a job, go to more school, stay in that job, create somebody else's dream, make their dream a reality while you suffer because you're not operating in your calling. And then, oh, by the way, that job might disappear at some point and then leave you with nothing. If anybody has experienced that, I've experienced that as well. I relied on the Air Force for 15 years. I relied on the Air Force because when you go from being a teen, and a lot of our athletes experience this. And so this is where I can relate. And this is where I talk to the athletes because when you go from having nothing to getting a regular income, especially our pro athletes, because that's a lot of money, you guys. And we're not taught how to utilize it, how to make our money work for us. We're just taught to work for our money. And then you end up 30 years later, like, oh my gosh, okay, I finally got the light bulb has gone off. Like all these people, I've been hearing this over and over and over. And now I'm seeing just how important it is to not rely on one income, to not get comfortable. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We get complacent, we get comfortable. We're just used to waking up, doing the things. And then what happens when all that gets taken away? We discover depression, anxiety, stress. We end up in the hospital or, God forbid, taking our lives because we don't know how to handle these things. Look at the generations coming up behind us. We are not giving them the tools that they need. And why? Now, I think we're doing a little bit better now, but in schools, they're still teaching the same stuff. They're not teaching our kids about resilience. They're not teaching our kids, unless they play sports, they kind of learn it there, but they're not teaching our kids about doing the things in order to be able to do more later. They're not teaching about other opportunities that most people aren't even looking for. They're not teaching about creating wealth, they're just teaching us how to work a job. And that's okay because I've done that for my entire adult life up until that was taken away and I had nothing. Then I had to learn how to operate on my own. Now gratefully, I had already received a personal trainer certification, I already had nutrition certification. So I had other things that I could get back into. But the thing is, even those things are limited because sometimes the gyms want to own you. They don't want you to own your business. They want to own you. And that's what I dealt with when I moved back to Jacksonville, Florida from overseas. When I first started as a personal trainer, as a group fitness instructor back in 2013, officially, I learned how to operate my own business. I was an independent contractor. But when I got back, I realized these gyms just want to own their trainers. They want to own them. You're just, you don't even matter. You're changing people's lives, but you're making $7 to $10 when our certifications are anywhere from 2 to 5,000. That doesn't make sense. So I ended up on this journey of make it make sense. Now, today, our focus is habits that heal. And that is one of the habits that I had to learn in order to heal gratitude. Gratitude, because no matter what is going on around us, we have something to be grateful for. Another thing is understanding that we are meant for more. We are meant to be resilient, and there's nothing that society can take away from us that we cannot recover from. I promise you, because I do it, I operate like this daily because it's a must now. Habits that heal is looking on the inside. Who are we? We get so focused on our external. How do we look? How much weight have we lost? How much weight have we gained? How much muscle do we have? I appreciate it when people commend me for having muscle, but guess what? Like, it took a lot to build that muscle, and now I'm just maintaining it. But what I tell people now is I normally use exercise now as mental health. It is a habit that helps me heal from the trauma that I've dealt with in my life and that I still deal with on a daily basis because things are still happening. So that's a habit that heals. Exercise is a healing mechanism, not a coping mechanism like I have used it for in the past as well. So there's a big difference there. It's giving ourselves grace. Today, I did not enter into a gym. You know what my workout was today? Moving stuff around and cleaning. And I'll be honest with you, that was a good workout in itself because it was a couple of hours of that. Okay. We have to give ourselves grace and we have to understand that, like, anything that we love to do is like, some people love to clean and organize. I commend you. I think that as I was growing up, because my mom cleaned houses when I was little, I think that that's just not something that I really desired to do, like, ever. But I do it because I also want to have a clean space, right? And sometimes we do things because we want to make sure that the people around us feel welcome, right? So that was my workout today. Eating is a habit that heals because the foods that we bring into our bodies are either healing us or making us sicker. So I want you to think about that for a minute. When it comes to habits that heal, these are a lot of things that a lot of people don't consider. The mindset of, you know what? I want to make sure that I'm doing the things that will keep me going for as long as possible. Now, nothing is 100%. I could wake up tomorrow and my life could be over. I don't know. But what I do know is in the meantime, while I'm still here on this earth, I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I can endure the hard times, the things, the sicknesses that are going around all the time, the stress that could and has consumed me before. I want to make sure I'm doing as much as possible to get through those things. Those are habits that heal. It's resetting, it's understanding that I matter. It's not negating ourselves. I had someone reach out to me just today and said, "Well, I'm not good at networking." And I said, "I need you to change that because I have to do it. I had to start doing that as well." Because we tend to look at ourselves and we always point out all the things that are wrong with ourselves. But what's right about us? Maybe we should start looking in the mirror and saying, "You know what? I am really good at X, Y, and Z." And for those things that we're maybe not as great at yet, I mean, look, I would love to have a whole intro for these YouTube videos and a following and being able to impact lives on a massive level, but I'm not there yet. It's not that I'm not there. It's not that I'm not capable. I just need more time to get better, to have better people around me, to have people that come together and help me build this thing out. Because Jody can't do everything on her own. Now, I want to change that too, because as I was saying it, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to say that. It's not that I can't, it's I don't desire to. I don't desire to. Because for me, trying to do all those things is taking away from me showing up here at 4:30 today, 4:30 Eastern time for my friends that are everywhere else. If I were to try to focus so much time and energy on making sure I have a good intro, on making sure, and if I were trying to do those things on my own, that would pull me from these other things that I need to be working on, writing books, being able to leave things behind because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And I want to make sure when I go, you have everything you need to keep going. I want to make sure that these things are able to outlive me. That's what I focus on. I don't put a lot of time and energy. So it's not that I can't, it's just that I don't desire to yet. And the reason I wanted to change that because I hear a lot of people say, well, I could never do X, Y, and Z. I could never do that. I could never do that. No, no, no. You either don't desire to or you just aren't able to do it yet. So I want you to start putting the word yet on these things. I want you to start listening to yourself. And if you're not able to do it yet, you're not able to do it yet because I will tell you, this is how it happened with me. You get people around you who catch you. And it still happens because every now and then I'll be in a conversation with somebody that's farther ahead in the mindset journey than I am, and they catch something that I say. And that makes me think differently. So, my priority, my reason for showing up here today for you is to get you to think differently. Habits that heal. One of the other habits that heals that I have found in my healing journey, and something that it's now a non negotiable in my life, which has been a huge game changer, you guys. I take care of me first thing in the morning before I start responding to everyone else. I do that to the best of my ability. Now, there are times where emergencies come up, emergencies arise, and certain people, your immediate family, and maybe a couple people outside of there can get some of that time, but no one else can. Now, how do I do that? Well, one of the things that I started doing, well, it starts the night before. I shut down at a certain time. It's not 100% because some people operate at night and unfortunately, when you're doing business with some people, depending on who they are and how valuable they are, it is important to respond and make sure that they can rest easy. So I will take a step back every now and then and I will work a little later than I normally would. However, for the most part, I make sure I shut down at a certain time of night because I want to make sure that I can also start my day with a winning attitude. Because what happens is if we don't get rest at night, we're not able to wake up early in the morning. And then before we know it, we're reacting to everyone else because we didn't give ourselves that time. So when it comes to habits that heal, I want to encourage you to start incorporating a non-negotiable in your morning. Maybe that's just 10 minutes, maybe it's 15, maybe it's a little bit longer as you continue to practice. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not a morning person. Well, guess what? I was not either, but I made it important. Are you making you important? Or are you making everyone else more important than you? Because you can pour and pour and pour, but when you start pouring from an empty cup and you do that over and over and over and over and over, that causes burnout, depression, stress, anxiety. And then guess what? You end up in the hospital and you can't be for anyone anymore. How do you think I know that? Because I've lived it. Everyone around me suffered because I wasn't showing up for me. Well, who are you showing up for? First thing in the morning, who are you showing up for? If it's not you, if it's not God, if it's not you, then you're pouring, pouring, pouring before you've even allowed yourself to fill up a little bit. So I want to encourage you to start your day before the world starts demanding your time because they don't care what you need. They're only worried about their own agenda, and that's okay because that's just how we operate mainly, right? I'm gonna share this with you. I can tell what people are about by the way they reach out to me. Listen, some people reach out. This is how you know if they're all about their own agenda or if they genuinely care about you, right? When they reach out, they don't say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, right? They only say, I need XYZ, or hey, are you available for blah, 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 right? So, what I started doing is I make sure to the best of my ability that when I reach out to someone, especially if it's someone that I don't talk to all the time, that the first thing I do is say, "Hey, I'm checking in on you. How are you?" Or if it is someone that I'm in communication with regularly, I still say, "Hey, good morning. Hey, good afternoon. Hey, good evening. Hey," before I go into what I need from them, I want to make sure I'm checking in first because that shows them, hey, I genuinely care about you. I do need something, but I do also care about you and where you're at in your life. Hey, what are you doing right now? Some people don't even ask that. They don't care. They're only worried about what they're doing. So when I reach out to people, especially people I know that have a lot going on, I'm like, hey, do you have some time? Hey, do you have a minute? Um, Do you have the capacity to respond to something? Make sure we are giving that courtesy to others. Because I will tell you, now that I've said this and you've watched it, you're going to start seeing some things a little bit differently. You're going to start seeing that when people reach out to you, how they reach out to you. I mean, there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, let me go back. Let me make sure I check in on this person first. I'll catch it. Because it is. It's like, we're kind of programmed to just ask the things that we need to ask when we need to ask them, right? But what about the other side? What if they're not in a good space? We don't ever know what people are going through. So I want to encourage you to not only pay attention to how people are reaching out to you, but also pay attention to how you are reaching out to others. And I didn't always operate like this because it wasn't something that I recognized. Blind spots. It wasn't until I started evolving and I started healing and I started working on myself. And then I started noticing these things because I was like, wow, they don't even care about me. They just want something. And then what do? We say, okay, what do you need? But what if we actually said, hey, I don't have the capacity to do that right now, but let me look into it later? Now, again, this isn't for everyone because, our family, yes, our children, like there are certain people that we're going to give certain things to just because it's a natural thing and that's who they are to us. But I want to encourage you because I promise there are a lot of people who are either watching this or going to watch it who are people pleasing like crazy with people they should not be people pleasing for. And then they wonder why they are so burnt out. And that's what happened with me. I wondered why I was so burnt out, why I was depressed, why I was suicidal, why I was thinking about, I don't want to be here anymore. It's because I was giving and giving and giving and pouring and pouring and pouring and never valuing myself. So, of course, then no one else is going to value me because I'm not valuing myself. But what did I give? Because this is what society teaches us. This is how I know I'm getting in there, you guys, because I start getting thirsty. This is what society teaches us. So, the more you work on you, if you do have kids, share these things with your kids. Now, if you have a child like mine, sometimes when they get to a certain age, they don't want to hear what you got to say, and that's okay. Then you lead by example. There's a lot of times I'm just quiet, but you know what? I walk in a room with a gallon water jug, which you can't see. My apologies. I walk in with a gallon water jug, and it's crazy how people are like, "Oh, that's so cool," right? I didn't even have to say anything. It's just something that I carry with me because I like to drink water, and it actually carries a lot of stuff for me. Just lead by example. Lead by example. I had a guy yesterday ask me, he said, "Do you work out?" And I wanted to say no, you guys, because that question's always funny to me. Um, but I said, "I do." I said, "Not like I used to." I said, "But now I'm just maintaining." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And that's the thing too. I've learned how to not be so regimented because I was adding extra stress to my life. I'm learning how to reset. I'm learning how to transition. I'm learning how to take breaks. I'm learning not to watch the news first thing in the morning or get on social media or Reddit or whatever else because that is causing reactions in our psyche. And then we wonder why we're starting the day in that mode. And then we go and drive. Now, when you're driving, I don't know where in the world you're located. If you're in Jacksonville, Florida, you're going to be able to notice real quick. And I know there's a lot of other cities because I've been a lot of other places too. You're always going to be able to tell the reactive people versus the people who are at peace in their soul. Pay attention. Don't start your day in crisis mode. Be grateful first thing in the morning. Go outside, take some deep breaths. Just a few. No phone at first. I try to stay off mine for the first hour now, at least the first 30 minutes. Do something else. Get yourself in a better space to be able to feel fulfilled from within. So that way, when you see the news, when you see the things, when you see the negativity, because honestly, you guys, that's mostly what people are putting out these days because that causes a reaction and they know that. The news people know this. They know that what they put on the news is going to cause a reaction. And unfortunately, for the most part, it's negative. So I want you to think about why are you inputting that into your brain first thing in the morning before you even go out into the world? Wait until after. They have social media first thing in the morning. That's your time. And you know why I say that? Because first off, scrolling up and down, if you read my blog on that, causes anxiety, right? Second of all, it's comparisons. We're looking at, oh, this person's doing so much better than us. They look better. They did. Oh, eh. If anything, start your day with something uplifting. Listen to someone that you already know is going to express positivity and stay away from the things that are going to cause negative reactions because you don't need to do that to yourself. Remember, movement is medicine. That's why I move. Even if I'm not in the gym, I'm still moving because movement is medicine. I hurt worse when I'm sitting still. I'm standing up right now. Move, 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 stand up. If you work an office job, great. Stand up, walk around. Don't just sit there because honestly, your brain needs the break too. But society is not teaching us these things. Even schools aren't teaching it because they're forcing the kids to just sit there all day and then they wonder why they're tuned out and bored. So if you're in a school, if you're a teacher, if you're an educator, I hope you heard that. Schools are not teaching these things. So it takes an outsider like me or someone else to come in and say, hey, you guys, hey, educators, remember, you're not just here to teach, you're here to mentor, you're here to pay attention. You're here to pay attention when the kid is coming to school to get away from home because I was that person. And so I know that there's other kids like that. You're not just here to teach. You're not here to just yell at them and make them feel stupid and down on themselves. And there are some teachers that do that, unfortunately, because I know they exist. I hear about it and I've lived it. There are some teachers who go above and beyond and they know they're mentors but unfortunately, there's more teachers that just go to collect a paycheck than there are to truly help our kids be better in life. It's unfortunate, but I don't want to be down on the educators, okay? And I'm not. Teacher, you guys are amazing. I also know because I see it with doctors and everywhere else. I've also been in the medical field and I've shadowed doctors. So I've seen this firsthand as well. Sometimes you have such a regimented schedule and your schedule is so freaking hectic that you don't have the ability to go above and beyond. So for you, I would encourage you to find balance in your life a little bit better because I promise you, you're going to come across kids who are going to need the best version of you. And if you're not doing that, if you're not giving yourself the best version of you for those days, you are doing everyone else around you a disservice. And I was that person. I was doing, even when I got into personal training and I was doing group fitness, I was not holistically taking care of myself. I was not starting here. I was not giving myself that time. And I was burnt out and I wasn't giving the people who needed the best version of me, I was not giving that to them because I was missing the mark on my mental health, which is why I have programs that are holistic now. And a lot of people don't want it, and that's fine. People just want nutrition or they just want personal training. Great. There's 50 million other people doing that right now. Go find one of them because I already know that if I don't help you here, none of that other stuff is going to last. And you're going to waste your money and you're going to waste your time and you're going to waste both of our times because you're not where you need to be to make it last through the hard things. You're not resilient because you were not taught how to be resilient. You guys, look, life is going to life. So if you don't start incorporating these things now, and don't wait for perfect conditions because they don't exist. I've been just as guilty. I'll wait until insert here. And then what happens? That time comes and something else comes up. Look, you guys, I got my podcast starting back up. I put the date on there. It's not perfect conditions. I am not where I thought I was going to be by now. But you know what? I made that commitment to myself, so I'm going to do my best. That's what you got to do. Show up anyway. I'm on here, whether anybody watches this or not. I showed up because that was a commitment I made to myself, and I am going to keep the commitments I made to myself because if I don't do it, nobody else will. Keep the commitments you make to yourself. Stop letting yourself down. We do it all the time. And then we wonder why we're miserable because we can't even show up for ourselves, but we're showing up for everybody else and we're putting on a mask and we're acting like life is great when we're crumbling on the inside. It's time to stop that stuff. Give yourself some grace. And remember, at the end of the day, you have a choice. You have a choice. You can choose peace. You can choose to show up and be present wherever you are, or you can be distracted. Do you live your life in distractions or do you live your life being present? You know, one of my pet peeves now is when I get on a meeting with someone and we've carved out the time. Now, I understand emergencies come up, and every now and then we do have to do different things. But one of the things that is just kind of become a pet peeve of mine is if they're just distracted the whole entire time. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should reschedule this for another time. Because I already know if I'm going to be distracted, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, can we do this another time? Because I'm going to be distracted. This came up. I'm going to be distracted. You have the power of choice. You have the power to be present. And you have the power to learn how to build these habits so that you can be the CEO of your life. It's not about being a business owner, it is about owning your life. So, right now, I want you to take a minute and think about some areas in your life. Think about some things that you say to yourself that need to change and start implementing those changes today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until Monday. You guys, I'll wait until Monday. Then Monday comes around. I'll do it tomorrow. You guys, I'm just as guilty. I promise you. And I promise you, I'm saying these things to myself as well because there have been times where I've operated in the same way with different areas of life. Okay. So these are things that I tell myself and remind myself as well. When I say lead by example, I mean it. I am leading by example in everything. There is absolutely nothing you will hear come out of my mouth that I haven't lived, experienced, and do on a daily basis. So I want you to keep showing up for you. I want you to stop telling yourself that you're not able to do something or you could never, or any of those things. It's either I don't desire to do that or I'm not able to do it quite yet. Don't negate yourself. Don't talk down on yourself. Show up authentically as you are and keep being a work in progress because we all are. If y'all think I got it all together, you got another thing coming. But what I do is I continue to place myself around people that are at higher levels than I am, and I learn from them. And I said, well, that works for them. I think I'm going to try that too. What can you try today? What are you going to start doing? What have you been putting off? Who have you been putting off? Is it you? I hope this video helps someone, and I hope you'll share it. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you show up, ask questions, join the community. This will be an experience in there. And the experience is it's an experiential journey. It's an interactive experiential journey. So every time you watch one of these videos, there is a lesson created from it. And you can answer questions in there and you can become part of a discussion in there. And it's interactive and everyone can talk to each other. And the questions, when you answer them, they're all anonymous. So no one can judge each other. It's a safe space, but it allows us to see just how everyone's doing. And then we can support each other. I want to support you. All you have to do is show up. If you're willing to show up for you, you can show up for other people. But show up for you first. God bless you. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day. And I'll see you next week.